Norsemen. First, before we get to the recap highlights, Lauren, we talked a little bit about it pre-game on the Saturday game, but we finally got to experience our first home weekend for the Toros.
Yes,
How are you feeling after it?
Yes, we did. I will say, obviously, we had 2 games this past weekend. First game did not go the way that we wanted it to, but the second one definitely did. And the way that Ken was talking just about this arena being filled, especially when the Minotaurs score first, and how amped everybody gets, and just the total just like sound that's going on in here. It was awesome, honestly, and he was right about it being on Saturday. We did score first, and just the cowbells, the screaming. I even saw, I don't know if you saw them, there were 2 people that mock made their own costumes and had like horns and a red siren on their heads, and they were just fully decked out, so happy to be there.
Yeah.
Also seeing somebody with a drill with a horn on it, crazy.
Yeah, talk about all the time, one of the best places to play in junior hockey is the Mesa Arena. So we'll roll our highlights to get you all caught up on the weekend of hockey here at the Pepsi rink. It's Friday night, it was all St. Cloud. Tyler Wishart struck first to get the scoring started for the Norsemen. That came off a pass from behind the goal line from Bronson Hunt, and then it was later in the period, Wes Berg for his 3rd goal of the year. Wes Berg, a really big impact player. He's averaging a point per game right now. No scoring in the second period, so we'll flash forward to the 3rd period. Toros did a nice job giving some pushback. John Small, he netted his 5th of the year off assists from Ian Spencer and Bennett Coyne, making it 2-1, and that's when the crowd got into it, as Lauren mentioned. It really makes a difference, but as time ticked down, Toros pulled their net, and it was Sam Karch to put the icing on the cake for the Norsemen. They cruised to a 3-1 victory. Toros do outshoot the Norsemen, though, 28-22. So there was some momentum, especially later in that game as we went into the Saturday series finale. And in that, it was not even a minute into the first period. The Toros got on the board. Jesse Uhala with his 6th on the year assists on that one, coming from Gibbs and Spencer. And then later in the period, off the short-handed, it was Chuck Owens from a beautiful feed from John Small right to the center of the net as Chuck Owens hammered home his 1st of the year and followed it with quite the celebration out to center ice. Second period, Norsemen do cut into that Toro lead, courtesy of Tanner Hunt, his 1st on the year. So it was back and forth, really, for both of these games, at least in Game 2 up to the midway point. But the Toros in the 3rd period added, I guess, the final goal, but Adam Mahler got one to close out the second period for the Toros for his 2nd of the year. And the Toros then closed it out in the 3rd period from Billy Batten on his 2nd goal of the year, assist on that one coming from O'Hannison and Mahler. So the Toros do salvage the series split we talk about all the time. The Toros last year didn't get swept all that often, and they continue that trend this year, despite with some new guys on this team. Coach Cody Campbell's 4th year, that's done a really good job of avoid getting swept and make the right adjustments, especially after dropping the Friday night game. And I guess, Lauren, how did you feel, coming out of that first game and then into the second game, knowing that the Toros were a lot better? I mean, they looked a lot better just really from the opening puck drop on Saturday night.
I think whatever Mr. Coach Cody Campbell had to say for them after Game 1 really stuck. Granted, we do not know what he said or did, but obviously it gave them the momentum to come into Saturday's game, and they had a different mindset. They just looked like they were ready to win, basically.
Yeah.
They looked like the option of a sweep was just not going to happen, and it was going to be a split, which is awesome for the momentum for this weekend going to North Iowa.
Yeah, Toros take their longest road trip of the year. We're going to a little update here, though, on the point leaders for the Toros. Jack O'Hannison and Jesse Uhala were the 2 point leaders coming into the weekend. They both picked up a point, so they are still co-leading this team with points with 9 apiece. Jack O'Hannison with a goal and 8 assists, so big job so far early this year in finding his guys as they hammer it home to the back of the net. One of those guys, at least leading in the goal category for the Toros, Jesse Uhala, 6 goals with 3 assists for 9 points. He had a goal this weekend, and we talked about last weekend in Austin, the performance that he had, and even the weekend prior to that, the performance he had against the national team. So Jesse Uhala, one of the newcomers that has made a big impact for this Toro team. But really, Lauren, it's been guys across the board, both returners and new guys that are gelling nicely as that team chemistry starts to pick up as we head into the 4th weekend of the year.
Yeah, honestly, Jesse Uhala is on fire literally every game. He's looking awesome, looking great.
Yeah, we talk about getting pucks to the front of the net, and that's something that Jesse Uhala has done, and the Toros have reaped those benefits. But switching gears, looking towards the next weekend, Toros take the longest road trip of the year, and that's to North Iowa, over in Mason City, Iowa. We won't break it down, we won't spoil our series preview, but the Bulls are one of those teams that came off a rough year last year, but have already made, improvements upon that. Already winning about a third of their win total from last year. They're 4-4 at the 500 mark. Believe it or not, 4-4 is good for 7th in the division. This division is playing really hot still. So, I mean, Lauren, when you talk about a team traveling, all that way, what's the most important thing? Is it just keeping the momentum going? How do you see that?
Yeah, I think definitely coming off of the weekend with us winning on Saturday, the momentum is still up. It's just you have to be able to keep the momentum, especially, like you said, on that long bus ride.
Yeah.
So I guess it's more just what each player has to do to keep themselves motivated, as well as obviously Coach Cody Campbell is doing an utmost 100% job. And I just think it's their own little pregame rituals and their own. Just they need to keep their egos up.
And Toros found a lot of success against that North Iowa team. They won the series, or the season series last year in emphatic fashion. But like we said, the Bulls, a lot more competitive this year than they were last year. So there's no games that are given in this league.
Exactly.
And this weekend is important for the Toros to keep that momentum going before on the next weekend they face who is right now still undefeated, Bismarck Bobcats, in a Thursday and Saturday series. So we'll talk about that too. A lot more to break down in that weekend. A lot of fun things happening here around the Mesa. But any final thoughts, Lauren? We're gonna, start to move towards another away weekend. But I think it was good for the Toros to get back in this building.
No, yeah, honestly, very exciting to be back in Mesa Arena, and we'll be back here October 24th, I believe.
It's the 24th. It's a Thursday night, and
yes.
we know it's not a Friday-Saturday series, but Thursday night, the point still remains. Winning the first game of the series is so important. And if you're here in the building, that gives us a big advantage in those series.
And we expect y'all to be here because we are playing Bismarck.
That's right.
I've heard that y'all show out, so I want to see it.
That's right. So we'll be excited to see you guys here for that one. But we're also excited to see you here on Tauros All Access tomorrow at 3 p.m. on the Facebook and YouTube page. Lauren, any final thoughts?
One last thing. This lovely QR code next to Edward. If you are not already following us on social media, please scan that QR code. Follow us, follow along on literally we post score updates, fun little TikToks, literally anything you can think of media-wise, it's there. So just follow us and follow along.
Thanks for reminding me, Lauren. I almost forgot. So make sure you guys do that. But until tomorrow, we'll say so long here, and we'll talk to you soon.